Your raw material is money.
Of course.
But it is not your money.
It is not
That
yours.
is the biggest challenge. So if you do not fear God, you will end up misappropriating this money and taking it to be your own. Yet it is just what you're using to do the work that you're doing.
So ego is very dangerous to me, and we should avoid the extremes.
This program exists to equip, challenge, and empower men to expand their family leadership capacity for national transformation.
Yet it is just what you're using to do the work that you're doing.
So ego is very dangerous to me, and we should avoid the extremes.
This program exists to equip, challenge, and empower men to expand their family leadership capacity for national transformation.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Oh yeah, this is the Inspired Family Leader Program with Samuel Ebakutana, your host, a certified executive coach, an award-winning leadership consultant, global speaker, and author. The CEO of Inspired Leaders International, which is an international leadership development firm that empowers leaders to transform nations, and your provincial Fathers Union President. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us from around the world. This program exists to equip, to empower men specifically to expand their family leadership capacity for national transformation. And as they do that, many times they are asked questions by their sons, by their daughters, by the neighbors, wherever they are asked questions about money, questions about health, questions about education, questions about social influence, questions about employment and success in life, relationships and marriage, to mention but a few. And today, we have that kind of opportunity to get a glance into those kinds of conversations. Our topic today is Daddy Answers Relationship Questions. In studio with me are some 4 young men and women, wonderful people that I met today. I met these people today at All Saints Cathedral in Kampala when we were having the Joint Youth Leadership Summit, talking about how we can be great leaders who are strong in competence, strong in connection, and strong in character to be able to cause impact and transformation. So, you're very welcome, my wonderful friends. New friends for the last few hours. Can you imagine? Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here, and thank you for accepting to come and we just have this conversation today. Yeah. So we will begin from you at the extreme right. Please go ahead in just about 1 minute. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, good morning, every listener out there. I'm so glad to be here. My name is Ernest Agura. I come from Surrey district, but currently I stay in Zambia, and I fellowship at Zambia, St. Stephen's in Zambia Barracks. That's where
Okay. You're welcome, Ernest.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
to have you on board.
Thank you, sir.
Next.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Kahamba Hilary Msade. My name is Karhanga Hilary Msade, and it's a privilege this evening. I am from Konjeri district, and I currently reside in Kampala, and I fellowship with St. Stephen's Chisugu, and I am a lawyer by profession. It's a pleasure to be with you this
Great.
evening.
You're very welcome, Hilary.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, next, Osilia.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good evening, dear viewers. Osiria Ampumza is my name, and I'm from Kanungu district. I fellowship with St. Paul's Chiwuli. It is a church of Uganda. I'm so delighted to be here with the coach himself tonight.
You're very welcome, Osilia. And finally, Johnny.
Yes, Papa.
Eating sugar?
Yes, Papa. Yes, I know some people are watching from abroad. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Yeah, depending to my family members in Australia, I greet you. My name is Johnson Avindabiamu. I add myself my father's name, Tivita. And I come from Rukunjiri district. Currently I stay in Kampala, and today I was behind the man himself, our coach, our daddy, in the youth summit, which happened at All Saints Nakasero. And I am glad I was the chairperson organizing it, and it was a success. Thank you for being part of it, and thank you for giving us an opportunity to join you in this session. You bring us before you, you mentor us, and we hope for the best on what you have talked about.
All right.
And this program, we hope also for a great yield on our lives.
Awesome. Thank you very much. What a joy to have you here today. You know, it's quite interesting that right now, I don't know what you want to ask me. We just agreed that we are going to have a conversation, and for you, you have questions on relationships specifically. So I'm all ears. I am looking forward to how this conversation will unfold, and looking forward to it being an impactful conversation. And as you ask me questions and I share some insights, feel free to add to the insights I have in case you have something to add on to somebody else's question. All right. So where should we begin from? Okay, let's begin from Ernest. Bring up one question and we have a conversation about it concerning relationships.
Okay, I think what I would want to ask you, Daddy, based on your age,
Yes.
the things that you have done,
Yeah.
I believe you would be the right person to give an answer to this question. Because I would really want to know, I'm trying to compare
Yes.
how the relationships used to be before and how compared to the way they are now.
Okay.
How was it before?
So when you say how they used to be, you
Yes.
mean like when? How far back are we going?
Let me say, to be specific,
Yes.
from the 80s, let me
Okay,
begin from
okay.
maybe, not even, let me
Yes.
begin from the 70s.
Okay.
Because looking at the rate of heartbreaks, the way things are going on now.
Yeah.
Families are breaking,
Yes.
relationships are not really working the way it used to be, because the way we are now, you find that someone can even meet a girl within 2 weeks is already saying, this is my, okay. But
even 2 weeks is big.
Oh, 2 weeks is big.
1 day, 2 days.
It can be even 1 day or even just a night or something.
Okay, all right. So thank you for this question.
Yes.
We are therefore talking about getting some bit of comparison between then and now.
Yes.
Yeah. 2 words have come into my mind when you asked that question.
Yes.
The word functional and the word relational.
Yes.
So let me explain. Those days, most of the relationships were functional in nature. For lack of a better word, I will call it functional, and then I explain.
Yes.
Functional from the word functions, or you can as well call them roles. Relationships that time used to be more of functional in nature, in that your dad, Ernest,
Yes, sir.
you would come from the pasture land, from grazing cows or goats or whatever, and you reach at home and your dad calls you and puts you on the side and he says, my son, walk carefully as you enter your house, because this afternoon we brought for you a wife. Eh?
Okay. Yes, sir.
We brought for your wife, so get in, start. She's called Annette, for example. She's called Sharon. She's called whoever. You get in, you say, oh, I am Ernest, and you start to talk. You start from there. And those marriages would work. You know why? Because they were based on functionality and roles. The roles of a man were clear. The man has to go out there, maybe fish or hunt or do a lot of work, bring home food. And it was also very clear, when the man brings food at home, he is not the one to cook it. There is no business of also participating in cooking. The woman would be now the one with the role or the function of preparing the meal.
Yes.
You know, something like that. The roles were much more clearer, and relationships were based on functions. That men play the following 4 or 5 functions, you know, protector, provider, priest and prophet of the home, and all that. But then the woman plays the following roles: the nurturer, the meals, home care, and so on and so forth. So in a way, it made it slightly easier if I am to compare. But today, the roles are mixed up. The functions are all mixed up. So now it's more of relational in nature than functional. And when I say relational, I mean that now it's about the relationship you have with that girlfriend, it's about the relationship you have with that boyfriend, in a sense of they no longer, you seem not to ask anymore about whether he's able to provide or not, whether he's a good protector or not, whether this lady can prepare a good meal or not. The question now is, does he care well? Does he care enough? Is he so caring? Is she so loving? It's now more of the relationship. How did she treat you when you went for the date? No, those are the questions that are now much more asked. So that's how I see it first and foremost.
Yes.
That then the relationships were more functional in nature, based on the roles. The roles of the men were clear, the roles of the women were clear. But now those roles are jumbled up. It's more of the relationship. Whether somebody cares, whether you feel their love. A lot of feelings and emotions at the forefront, you know, which is both good and bad. Good because now it goes to the heart of the relationship, that we have to relate together. But sometimes bad because now it blinds one's eyes from seeing the real deal, like of the character, like of the capacity to take care of somebody, and so on and so forth. Maybe the other thing I can say is that the other difference I see, those years, like I've already said, the parents were so much involved in the process.
Okay.
Very involved in the process. There was no business of you just meet somebody, then you come to report to daddy you have somebody.
we have met in company.
No. The dad had to either tell you there is a good girl in that family, or tell you that family, those people are good, so my daughter come close to those people and we see, let's have a relationship with that family, they are a good family, they work hard, like that. And then before you know it, the two fathers are meeting, they are talking about their children. Before you know it, they are putting you together to talk. There was a lot of involvement of the parents. Today it's quite different. Today a young girl will come to the dad and say, Dad, you know, I hadn't told you, but I got a boyfriend and we think that maybe next month we do something. He wants to visit. That was unheard of then.
Okay.
So that's what I think. That's what I can quickly think of concerning the differences. Yes. Yes, sir. Question.
Thank you so much for that really response.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah. Mine is to do with the transition from relationship to marriage.
Yes.
But before we even go that far, we are relational beings and we can't avoid it.
Of course.
At whatever point in time, we have to relate somehow, somewhere.
Yeah.
What amounts to a successful relationship? And what would you call a successful relationship? And does a successful relationship guarantee a successful marriage? What are some of the misconceptions that we carry forward?
Those are 3 questions. Ask one question. Ask one question first.
Okay. What amounts to a successful relationship? And or does it guarantee a successful marriage?
All right. You're right. Thank you for asking that question.
Yes.
First of all, a successful relationship does not guarantee a successful marriage, but it increases the odds of having a successful marriage.
Okay.
Having a successful relationship may not necessarily guarantee that the marriage is going to be awesome and blissful, because relationship time is relationship time. Marriage time is marriage time. Relationship season is a season of its own. It has its dynamics. And the season of marriage, very many years on earth together, also has its own dynamics. So you may have a successful relationship, you get into marriage, and the marriage fails. You may have a successful relationship, you get into marriage, and the marriage works. So whether the marriage survives and thrives or not may not necessarily be based on what happened during the relationship, the courtship, the dating, though it really matters a lot, but it depends largely on how you will treat each other during the marriage. So going back to what a successful relationship is, that's an interesting question. I'm trying to think what makes a successful relationship. To begin with, there should be conversation in the relationship. Conversation. And you know, this sounds quite obvious, but it is not as obvious as you think. Many people are in a relationship, but they really are not talking. They're not talking. They just chat once in a while on WhatsApp, and that's it. They inbox each other on Instagram or whatever, send each other some TikTok videos and laugh, and that's all. But they are really not talking. There is no deep, meaningful conversation. Or you find that you meet, every time you meet, you are watching a movie together. You're seated in your room or in her room or at a public place watching a movie. So you are relating, you are coming together, you meet, but you're really not talking. You're not talking. I know another pair, boy and girl, who went out, and even when they were going out, as they are seated across a coffee table having some cup of tea, they are on their phones. Okay? This one is on the phone, chatting with someone else. Then once in a while they say 1 or 2 words to each other, then they go back. And then a time came and they started to now chat with each other while on the table, sending a message. A message also comes. They are not talking. That's not a successful relationship. A successful relationship is where you put everything on the side, put the phones away, and really look at each other and talk. Secondly, and also related to the first one, is meaningful conversations. Now, the whole point is about meaning. Yes. Yeah. You may also be talking, but every time you're talking, you're just giving each other sweet little nothings. You're talking about your nice smiles and all that, but you're not dealing with the real issues you should be dealing with in a relationship. Yeah. Every time you meet and you're talking, you have not talked about the kind of future that you would like to share. Because, for example, Osilia, if a man comes and proposes to you, says, will you please marry me? Do you know what he's doing? He's actually inviting you on a lifelong journey in the future. So you better talk about that kind of a future when you are relating. That's why you're glad now for you're going to know, because I always tell this to the girls. I say, girls, when this guy, Ernest or whoever comes, Johnson, comes to you and says, will you please marry me? The first question you should ask is not, do you really love me? That's a wrong question. The first question a girl should ask is, where are you going? That's really the question. And that's a question of vision. You are inviting me on a journey with you to the future. Can you paint a picture of the future? Hey, paint for me the picture of the future. Where are you going, Johnson? You know, when I was relating with my beautiful wife, Charity, my watermelon, who must be watching right now, when I was relating with her, I remember I invited her. By that time I had a desktop in the office. So I had typed there, I think, were they 11 or 14 pages, A4 pages of the things I wanted to do in the future. So one time I invited her and I said, read through this. And I moved away, sat at a distance, kept putting one eye to see how her face is looking like as she reads through my dreams for the future. In other words, by the time she came, I already had clarity about the future. And those are things that I am talking about when I say a meaningful conversation during relationship. It's part of a successful relationship. That you talk about the future, talk about even the number of children you would desire to have, each one of you, talk about where you would like to live in the future, talk about your values. What do you stand for? You find that for you stand for saving money, investing it to multiply your wealth. That girl stands for earning all the money, not even earning it, getting donations of all the money and spending it totally fully. You need to get to know your values and see whether you will be a good compatible fit.
Others are disturbed by what you should also put on the table.
Hey, and when you ask some, say, what do you bring to the table? I am the table. I am the very table. I am. Why they are dodging the question? Another bit, number 3, concerning a successful relationship. It is one that is, I don't want to use the word held, which right word can I use here? Okay, let me say it this way. You find that some people, every time they meet in one place, maybe at a restaurant. Every time you meet together for a date, you are at a restaurant. Every time at a restaurant, sipping juice. Every time restaurant, sipping juice. Every time restaurant. So the only environment you know about that person is the restaurant environment. But in a successful relationship, you need to relate in different environments. For example, find a way to be at church together. You are in a service and then somehow you watch this girl or you watch this. I remember before I even proposed to my dear wife, one time I had been invited to go to St. Stephen's Chitara. There was a mission for 3 days. So I called her. She was just a friend. At that time, I was testing her. I was taking her through my silent private tests before I could say anything about love to her. I had just eyed her, and I was now taking her through my personal tests. And I said, can you please come and we go together in case it's okay for a mission? There is a mission. By that time, it was at Buganda Road before they built their own sanctuary in Chibuye, something like that. So she said, let me first talk to my auntie whom she was living with. And if she allows me, I will come. So now I put just half a tick, because the half a tick was for her, she's willing. She's interested. Okay. Then she called me in the evening and said, yes, Aunt Peace has accepted, so I'm coming. And I increased the tick. Now I put 3/4 of the tick. Then that day when we went there, it came to a point that it was a climax. You know those conferences, those summits, sometimes it reaches a point and it is like the climax. Everybody's dancing, jumping, what? Vibe is in the room. And I said, I think this is now the moment to either put the full tick or remove something. So I turned to where she was to see if everybody's busy jumping, what is she doing? When I turned and looked at her, she had removed the shoes, put them as I was jumping. I put the full tick. Because now I had had the opportunity to also see her in that environment. Then maybe meet at a wedding and sit and you go on the line for self-service and you see the kind of food he or she puts on the plate. Then a successful relationship should be in different environments to really get to know who the person is. A successful relationship also is one whereby you are not only looking at the girl or the young man that you're relating with, but you also look beyond him or her to see who is behind him or her. The friends, the family, the people he or she spends a lot of time with. Because there is a reason why, for example, he is always in the company of thieves. There is a reason, you get it. You can't say, you see, for him he is honest, he's only surrounded by thieves. Why does he attract thieves? So when you also look at friends that he or she has in his or her life, then you know how to relate better. And also, a successful relationship should not continue to reach to the peak until you have gotten to know something about the relatives. You know why? Because whereas you are a company of Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, your family, those in-laws are going to be on the board of directors of your marriage if you're not careful. You better get to know. But let me also say, a successful relationship, being who we are, is one that is also based on the foundations of Scripture. What does God say we should do with each other? So that will bring in issues of praying together, issues of reading the Bible together, issues of purity, and so on and so forth. So that's what I can say about that. Quite a long answer. Yes, Osilia.
Thank you one more time. Mine is about unhealthy choices due to the pressure that the community or your parents. Imagine a situation where your beloved aunt or dad tells you, I need a son-in-law. Or to my brothers, I need a daughter-in-law. You're not prepared, but because of the pressure that they are inserting onto you, there is this guy pursuing you, then you're like, this pressure on me, can I give this a chance? So at the end of the day, before you know it, you've made that unhealthy choice, not because you want it, but because of the pressure that is being inserted onto you. So how, in such confusion, how can you help someone in that state?
Okay.
Yeah.
Powerful question there. And yes, many pressures come from very many different kinds of people. Not only maybe dad or mom, aunties, uncles, even friends, workmates for those who are in the workplace. Some of your friends are going, they are getting married, they are marrying, and people put you on pressure. It happens a lot. How do you deal with that? First of all, you need to come to a point of soberness to realize that this is going to be your marriage, not daddy's marriage, not mommy's marriage, not auntie's marriage, not the marriage of the workmates, whereas they are the ones putting you on pressure. At the end of the day, it's going to be your life. It's going to be your marriage. It's going to be your future. So it would be very important that you are not taken up by the comparison and the pushing and the pressure, and you get into something that you're not ready for. Because once you get into something you're not ready for, you will struggle more than if you were ready for it. That's one. Secondly, if possible, to the best of your ability, God giving you wisdom, find a way to have conversations with those people, whether it's a dad, whether it's mom, whether it's aunt, whether it is whoever, having a conversation, and you say, I appreciate the fact that you would like to have a son-in-law, daughter-in-law, and I can tell you, Daddy, you would actually have one. But it may not be in the next 2 months like you want it to happen. If you don't mind, just give me time. Let it grow organically. And at the moment when it happens, I will let you know, Dad. I will let you know, Mom. Having that kind of a conversation boldly without putting in so much emotions, because already you are under pressure. You may come up and you talk in a way that may now anger those people, especially if they are in a position of authority in your life, like parents, that can now strain your relationship more. You say, But why are you always asking me for a husband? For you don't. Now that kind of talking may sour your relationship, may embitter your relationship. But also, you and I are people of faith. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Guess what? You may find that mom and dad or whoever is putting you under pressure, they are the ones that are in a wrong, and God can handle them. You may also find that God is using them. You are the one delaying things. Right? So just go to God in prayer for wisdom. There is a young man I talked with today, and I remember telling him that sometimes you say, I am waiting upon God, when they ask you, so when are you starting these things of relationships? And you say, I'm waiting upon God, when actually God is waiting upon you. He has already aligned everything in the spiritual realm. It is you to now take a step in the physical realm. So that's what I can say.
Okay,
Yes.
before I hand over to my brother here, there is one more thing, like you've said you take it to the Lord in prayer. Well, sometimes we pray, like we were discussing this during the summit, like you've prayed, then God brings this person. Okay, after, let's say you've even fasted, then the next day you come across this person approaches you. Then you're like, as you try to move on with the person, there are things that really don't match.
Yes.
Because we're looking at a successful marriage at the end of the day, or a relationship.
Yeah.
So you wonder, you're like, I came to God for this. Is this from God, or this is just... How do you handle such a situation? And because there is that question you're asking God, and like, God, is this your answer, or just personal?
Okay.
Maybe?
Beautiful. I will answer with something that happened to me. When I was preparing for my wedding, I was on Nasa Road. I had gone to pick the wedding invitation cards. And on our wedding invitation card, we had put a photo of my girlfriend and myself, wife-to-be. Now, there was a guy on NASA. He got the card and he looked at it. He looked at it, looked at it, looked at that photo of Charity and I. He kept quiet. And then he said, Sam. I said, yes. He said it in vernacular. I'm going to say it in vernacular and then translate it. Let me first say it exactly the way he said it. He said, Sam. I said, yes. Agomo is chogu. Ruhanga kwara batakusonsorire stana kunamiri. Now, what that means, he said, hey, Sam, this girl here, the way she looks, if it is not God really favoring you, the devil has you. The devil has got you. Okay? Now, bringing it to your question. You go into prayer, you do what, and maybe the following day or the following week, somebody launches their manifesto. It could be God answering immediately. It could be the devil coming quicker to disorganize. And you think it is your prayer. If it is not good. Yes. So, and that's why in this book here, Someone to Love, the one you got a copy of today, Someone to Love, I talked about what we call the non-negotiable qualities and the flexible qualities. Even before you start to look for whoever, first sit down and ask yourself, what are some of the non-negotiable qualities I need in a wife or I need in a husband? They are usually not many. It could be one, they could be two, they could be three, the non-negotiables. I hope faith will be one of them. Okay? In other words, those are the ones you say, if he doesn't have these two things, come and buy, come what may, regardless of what else he has, I'm not going with that guy. Even in my heart I feel like I am being floored with emotions and feelings. The guy looks awesome, the dude looks dope. Still, if he doesn't have these two things, no way. Those are the non-negotiables. And then they are the flexibles. Those are the ones you say, well, if he has the other two major ones, the other three, these ones are nice to have in him or in her, but I can easily forego those ones as long as he or she has the other two or three. Now, you've come out of prayer, somebody launches their manifesto. That should be something you already have to look at those qualities. The non-negotiables and the flexibles, right? Secondly, he comes and he launches the manifesto. Don't say yes quickly. Don't do anything. First, do your due diligence. Do you know what due diligence means? It's like do your homework about the guy, about the lady. Due diligence. Go and ask people that know him. Get to know where he works from. You have to do, because a marriage is for a lifetime. You don't want to get a hammer thinking you got a husband. You don't want to get a knife thinking you got a wife. Right? So doing due diligence. But also go back to prayer where you were a few days ago and say, Lord, now I prayed. There is so and so who is knocking. Is this one the one? God has a way of giving you spiritual conviction and clearance in your spirit, and you will know. That's what I will say for now. Ask your question. Time is running. My. We have 9 minutes to the end of the session.
Yeah, you have almost touched everything.
All right, I'm glad.
You have almost touched everything.
I'm glad.
Because literally when we are talking about relationships,
yes,
we talk about building a foundation, strong foundation.
Yes.
We talk about when are you ready to make a choice.
Yes.
And maybe my sister was asking, can really God intervene?
Yeah.
How can you know that? So for me, maybe let me wrap up in this way.
Please go ahead.
So we have actually
just in a minute
a boy and a girl struggling.
Yes.
So one, he doesn't know when to continue, either to continue with the relationship or to boycott the relationship.
Yes, to stop it.
Yes. So one of the two things or causes, you might find it is bad foundation.
Yes.
This foundation was not strong.
Yeah.
Or maybe someone is not yet ready. So according to how you are wrapping up the things, when do you start a relationship?
Okay, let me answer that.
And another thing, when do you know that let me move on or let me do what?
Okay.
Yes.
Great. When do you start a relationship? 4 things. 4 things. These are the dynamics of readiness. Number 1 is mental maturity. Are you mentally mature? In other words, how do you think about issues of relationships? If you still think all men cheat, you are not ready for a relationship. If you still all girls play, they are the truthers, you are not ready for a relationship. If you think marriage is endurance for the whole of your life, you are not ready for a relationship. Because the way you think, you are not yet mature mentally. So how do you think about marriage? How do you think about men? What do you think about children? If you think that children are a disruption in your marital journey, you are not ready for the relationship. What do you think about money? What do you think about the faith in a relationship? So you need to probe your mental maturity. That's 1. Number 2 is emotional readiness. Before you start a relationship, are you able to handle the emotional ups and downs of a relationship? I mean, one time I was in a relationship with somebody whom I didn't end up marrying before I met my wife, Charity. And yeah, that's true. He's saying, oh. You think Charity was the first one? No, we are being honest here. And one evening, she wakes up and she says, you know what, I think we call it quits. She quits? What do you mean? Say, yeah. I said, why? I talked with my mom, and when mom got to know that I'm in a relationship, she was not happy that I'm still young. And this was a 20-something-year-old girl. I'm telling you. So if that happens to you, will you handle it? Are you able to handle the turbulences of chucking? Because that's a possibility. So emotional readiness. Are you able to withhold the temptation that comes with emotions in a love kind of relationship? Emotional readiness. Very critical. Number 3 is spiritual conviction. Spiritual conviction. Have you prayed about it? And within your spirit, you feel God has cleared you to go ahead and get into these things. Why do we go to God for school fees, go to God to pray for all these other things, but not the relationship? That's why you get into it, you hit walls, then you come back to Him. Help me. Why didn't you ask Him when you were starting? And then the 4th thing concerning when to start. I will call it responsibility preparedness. Are you prepared for responsibility? Because a relationship comes with responsibilities. Yes, it comes with responsibilities. And these days, my brother Ernest, you were asking about the relationships of those days and the ones of these days. I think the other difference I should have talked about is that those days, relating was very, very cost effective. Yes. Today it is extremely expensive. You know, I was on another television station somewhere having a conversation related to this, and one of the people we were having a conversation with painted for us a picture of what it means nowadays to date a girl. Yeah? You go and get a car that is not even yours to go and pick her from her home. Then you don't take her to Ruombo restaurant. You take her to CJ, you take her to Serena, you take her to I don't know where. You spend 200, 300, 500. And your salary is 200,000. You get it? It's 500,000.
And at the end she says...
And at the end... She says it will not work. And she will not say that on the first time. It will be on the fourth date after you spent 2 million. Very expensive. And that's not something that I support, that it should be like that. But I'm saying many times that is how it is for many. So are you prepared for responsibility? When you begin a relationship, you should begin it not for fun. You should begin it when you know you are on a journey to get into marriage. So now that you want to start a relationship, are you prepared for marital responsibility? As a woman, as a young girl, are you ready to be somebody's wife? Are you ready to be are you prepared for the motherly responsibilities? As a young man, are you ready to be the protector of another life? Are you ready to be the provider? If you are not ready, don't start. For better, for worse. So those are the 4 things. Those are the 4 things I would like you to pay attention to. Yeah. Our time is fast spent. I hope this has been a helpful conversation. I'm going to let each one of you just give your parting shots, especially addressing your fellow young men and young women out there. Each one of you take only 30 seconds and not more. Parting shot. Your last words. Not on earth, but on this program. Just keep it very brief.
Yeah, I think it has been great based on how things are moving and then trying to connect with how it was before. I love the way you responded to it. God surely bless you.
Amen.
You are one of the people that God is raising for such a time as this.
Thank
to
you.
make sure that we don't go off course
All right.
when it comes to relationship.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, Ernest.
All right.
It's been a pleasure, Coach, for having us here. It's been very impactful conversation.
Glad.
And I hope that the viewers have really picked a leaf. For
Yeah.
me personally, it's been mind-blowing, and I'm going to go back and reflect on each and everything.
I saw you taking notes after notes after
yes,
notes.
I did. I did.
All right, thank you.
you so much.
Yes, Cecilia.
Thank you so much to our viewers for tuning in and not giving up. I hope you've enjoyed. I personally, I would love to speak to a girl child. If at all you're being pressured,
Yes.
just relax. God's timing is the best.
Yes.
Keep it to that and know your time is coming. Do not choose wrongly because you're being pressured.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to regret it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And there is here someone to love. It's good for you. Just.
Yeah. Thank you, Celia. And finally, John, 30 seconds and below.
There are many speakers in Uganda. But the Bible says there is a reason for everything that happens.
Yes.
They say for God's purpose, for those who love Him. Today we met you and
At the Youth Leadership
at
Summit.
the Youth Leadership Summit.
Yeah.
And we have been praying that that Youth Leadership Summit should impact someone's life. I'm behind you. I will be telling you, I'll be updating you that at least today it has yielded something.
Awesome.
It has brought us into this place also to talk about relationship, which is a nut to crack for many youth out there.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, you made me feel like I am contesting for a position when you said I am behind you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we wrap it up. Relationships matter. They matter so much. Relationships matter in the life of young men, in the life of young women. You know, when you do it right and you get into the right relationship and get into marriage with the right person, you are already almost 50% successful in life. Because that person, that man, that woman will make decisions with you for the rest of your life. When you make a wrong decision at that entry point, you are almost already 50% on your journey to quite some seasons of sorrow and pain. In human resource principles, we talk about quality at entry. That if you don't want to struggle with some staff members, do serious work at the interview level. Because once they are in the organization, it will be very difficult to deal with them. Same thing with relationships. Once you do it right at the entry, it is going to be a good journey for you. Once you do it wrongly at the entry, it's going to be a tough journey for you. Do it right at the very beginning. As for you, my fellow parents, fathers and mothers, don't you think it is very important for us to have more of these conversations as often as possible with our sons, with our daughters, sharing stories, sharing experiences, and doing some mental cross-pollination and cross-fertilization of ideas about these important relationship issues? Who is speaking into the life of your daughter about these things? Who is speaking into the life of your son about these things? Let's create more time as fathers, as mothers, to have these real life experiential conversations with the youth. It has been a great time to be with you this wonderful day as we've been talking about relationships, answering questions. See you next time. This has been the Inspired Family Leader Program with Samuel Bakutana. And until next time, live exemplarily, love authentically, and lead relationally.
Just one wife, that you need the leadership skills of a general.
Yes.
To lead an army of one woman.